see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and I get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and I get it up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up.
Hey.
Hi, happy Tuesday. Happy Credit Tea Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday. Happy Credit Tea Tuesday. It's like my new favorite day of the whole entire week.
No, seriously.
It is. How y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
Hey, ladies.
Day meetings. Y'all look so cute.
Thanks. It almost looks like we coordinate. Like we in black on the end, Shayna in light in the middle.
Dang.
Right.
So I'm just. Did you guys get a chance to share to your pages?
Let me double check. I'm not.
I did. I just did.
I don't see it yet. Let me refresh, and then I'm definitely going to share it so my followers could get on and check out this good credit tea that we have in regards to late payments tonight. I hope y'all are ready.
And I'm just bringing it up so that I can continue to monitor the comments. I might need some help with that, but all right. So we're going to get into this. I'm so excited about today's topic. We're going to be talking about late payments, which is a really hot topic in credit repair because most of the time people who are having a negative poor credit score are having negative impacts on their credit score. It has a lot to do with some late payments. And I get a lot of questions about that. I'm sure you ladies can attest to getting a lot of questions about late payments.
Yes.
So our intention tonight is to spill some tea on some, like really how late payments impact you. Shayna's going to be talking about how late payments impact you, how long they can impact you. So she's going to give you some background on what the impact on the score is. We're going to drop some tea on some things you can do on your own that a lot of people might not tell you about, that you can be proactive to try to work on those late payments on your own. And then we're going to talk about some credit news to wrap it all up and answer questions. We definitely want this to be an interactive podcast. So if you are watching us, go ahead and drop your comments, your questions. And we have a tendency to kind of float all over the place sometimes. So you really don't, if you have a question about anything and it doesn't have to be related to late payments, we're going to answer your questions tonight.
Put in there.
So I'm going to shoot it over to Shayna.
All right. So as you all know, my name is Shayna. So I'm going to talk about how these late payments can affect your score. And it is massive when it comes to late payments. Now, of course, a late payment is just a past due credit or loan payment made after your specific due date. If you heard the episode before, that's why I was stating you want to make sure you know your due dates and when your bills are supposed to be due. So with the credit bureaus and lenders, they believe that your past is going to dictate your future. So if they look and they see those late payments, they feel like in the future you might pay them, and that could be grounds to say, you know what, we don't want to give them the loan or the credit or whatever that may be. Now, late payments will still stay on your credit for 7 years, just as an entire collection account can stay on your account for 7 years. A late payment can stay in that and affect you. Now, I know it does diminish, over time. I'm not sure that specific time period. Once I get that answer, I can drop it down in the comment section below. But I know that over time, it will diminish the effect on your score. But there's 3 things that can affect how severe your score will go down. So one of them is how long ago. Like, how long ago were you late? Were you just late? Is this a recent late payment? Did this just happen last month? And then you call the credit repair specialist, hey, get it off right now. So, or was it 2 years ago you had one late payment? That's a thing that can take effect, and they may kind of overlook it if it's just that one. And how often are you late? If you're late often, it becomes a habit, and habits are very hard to break. So that's how they're going to look at it. Like, oh, this is a habit for her. She goes 6 months and she's late every month, and then she picks back up and she's on time. And if they see it as a habit, they're going to say, no go. She can't get $200,000 for this house. We're not giving her the money. And then the other one is, how serious is it? Like, for example, like what I have here is that, for example, a payment that is 90 days past due will cause a bigger hit to your credit score than a payment that is 30 days past due. When they mean how serious is it, like how late are you really? So that's why I always
90 days, like you was late 1 month, then you was late the next month, and then you were late the next month. That causes that 90 day. And then on your credit report, you see the 90 days.
Yep.
So that's basically showing that 3 months in a row you were late.
I've even seen some with 120 days late.
And that is like a pattern that can be seen, and that's probably why it has a higher impact.
Exactly. So you always want to make sure you're setting it onto auto pay. You are budgeting. You're writing your bills down when they come out, or what that specific date is. Like, for example, I have a First Progress secure card, and I can make my payment today, but it holds for 10 days. So those are things that you want to know so you can avoid a late payment. So all you have to do is just simply give them a call. Even if you feel like you may be late, just give them a call or pay the minimum and then put the remaining balance on it. Whatever you got to do, just don't get a late payment. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if you have to call them and cry and beg for an extent. I don't know. Just don't get a late payment. They're very hard.
And a lot of people think that when you miss your payment date, that you're automatically late. So they're like, I already missed it. But really, you aren't late until you're 30 days late, right?
Exactly.
So you could miss your payment date and still make your payment and not be reported as late.
Exactly. That's a good point, Jazz. That's a very good point. So it has to be 30 days late. If your bill is due on the 5th and you paid on the 5th, you are still, it's an on-time payment. You don't want to go 30 days late. You don't want to do that.
Right. So ladies, before we get into the tea on some things you can do to be proactive about some late payments if you have them, I want to know what everybody's sipping on tonight.
You go first, Kenyatta.
Margarita, what is it? 1800. 1800 margarita mix.
Okay. All right. Cheers.
I am
1800 margarita.
I'm drinking Tito's and cranberry out of this cute glass. Isn't this?
That is a cute glass.
That is a cute glass. I like that.
Cranberry. And also Tito's is gluten free. So if you're on a diet, drink Tito's.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's good to know. That's gonna be
on a diet, but I just like the liquor, but I'm not on a diet.
Really? Gluten free?
I didn't know that Tito's was gluten free.
Yeah, let me get
game changer for me.
It's a handmade vodka. It's really lit. But yeah,
wow.
Gluten free.
See, we got more tea than the credit tea over here.
Working at the bars, they would order it with water. They would be like, "Can I have a Tito's and water?" I'm like, "Water?" And that's how they would drink it, like for their diet.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm drinking vodka and soda, but I'm about to switch it up to Tito's so I could be gluten free.
Exactly. That's the plan.
Nice.
All right. So I'm gonna talk about some things that you can do if you know you have late payments and you want to be proactive about seeing if you can get some of those late payment reversed. There's some simple things that you can do on your own that can help you with your late payments. Now, one thing before I go into this, your success rate on these activities is going to depend on, number one, the company, because everyone has their different policies and what they'll work with and what they're not. Number two, how often you've been late. Now, if you've been late like 6 times, 9 times on one card, and you try to do this, you may not have as much success if you had like one late payment and you've had this card for a long time. But if you had this card for a year, you've already missed 9 payments. This might not be the way to go.
That's true.
But one thing you could start with is a goodwill letter. And I like to tell people, if you're going to do a goodwill letter, then what you want to do is you want to call the car company or the whatever, the loan company, and ask them like for their credit bureau department, because a lot of them have their own reporting departments. And you want that address or that information so that you know where to send the letter. And then you're just going to ask for a goodwill removal of the late payment and just be honest about your situation. Say you had a hardship, you're trying to purchase a home, something like that. Be kind of honest, be as authentic as possible, and send in a goodwill letter. Something that I have kind of learned just by sending out a lot of goodwill letters is it's very helpful if you put in the letter the months that you were late, the month and year. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes they will only reverse the late payments for the ones you asked for. So to be specific in the letter and make sure that you pull up your credit report in advance and know the months and year you were late and put that in the letter.
Exactly.
So if that doesn't work, this is another step. Like, this is a little secret. You know, hopefully we don't piss too many people off. Like, secret. Another thing you can do is you can send an email. And this is easy because it's not even a letter. An email to the CEO of the company. So Google the CEO, find out the email address to the CEO, start hounding them. They send it to a special department. Usually they contact you, and they are usually a little bit more cooperative when you're writing the CEO. So those are a couple of things you can do on your own, very simple things that you can do for free to try to get those late payments reversed. Kenyatta, did you have any tips, anything you could do?
I just want to share what happened with me. I also have the First Progress card, Shayna. And I was thinking I'm going to just go on my bank account. I'm going to set up the payment during the day. And by the next day, it'll be paid. In my mind, I'm thinking it's as simple as that. But not knowing there was an actual 4 days in between from the time I hit send to the time they got it at First Progress, which it would have been late already. So I'm freaking out. My balance, y'all, was only $5. But I was so afraid that I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to drop 100 points for $5. Hell no. I'm calling First Progress. I called the first number and they're like, no, they're closed. I'm like, somebody got to be open to take this look $5, right? I called another number. Finally, the girl picks up. I paid, watch this, $9.95. Okay. That was the charge. $9.95 on a $5 payment.
So you had to pay the $9.95
at the time. Yes.
That's their fee.
That was the fee. $9.95. That's the fee. For a $5 payment, just so I would not get them 100 points dropped. But here's the thing. I was freaking out, and I'm a professional, but it never popped in my head to say, when is the statement date? When do First Progress report to the credit bureaus? I still had a whole week. I could have actually made the payment on my bank, my little easy $5. And okay, it would have been after the due date, but I still made it in before they reported to the credit bureaus. My whole point of the story is don't give up. Don't give up. Don't take no for an answer. Like Jazz said, send in your letters. Email the CEOs, because what's the worst they can say is absolutely not. But what's the best they can say is, sure, we'll delete all of these late payments, which is what you want. So don't give up. Don't take no for an answer, because it can be done. And know your options. You got to know your options. We're telling y'all everything. We're giving y'all everything. Like Jazz says, we hope we don't get any threatening emails, from some of these companies. Like, they threatening us for telling you guys the secret. We're giving you the secret sauce. So take it, share it, sharing is caring, and let's all be in the 740 club. That's
Exactly.
what I have to say, Jazz.
And that was good. Don't give up. I will tell you, I did a CEO letter for 8 late payments. And I got them 8. I got them all reversed on time. But it was my third CEO letter.
Oh, by the third one.
I got denied, and then I sent a third letter. So that's the other thing that you touched on, Kenyatta, that is important. Persistence is key when it comes to repairing your credit. And you really don't have anything to lose. So just because
everything to gain.
Right. So just because you do a Goodwill letter and they say no, or they send you the little, well, we have to, they love to say our company reports to the bureaus what is accurate and this is accurate. They love to send you that letter. Send another letter. That's okay.
Because I have had 2 or 3, I believe it's 3 clients that said, oh my God, they said they would remove them. They were like completely shocked. Like, I didn't think it would be that easy. Like, they said they were going to remove them for me. I was like, yeah, see, I told you. But guys, late payments are very serious. It takes 10 on-time payments to make up for 1 late payment.
Ooh, whoa.
Time is going to take you 10 on-time payments. That could be 10 months. That's 10 months to recover from that. So that's why it's such a big portion of your credit score, because it's very important. If your payment history is poor, I can't trust you with anything.
Right.
So your cousin
and
family member would trust you to borrow money and never pay it back, but lenders, they don't want to hear it. They want their money.
For real. And Kenyatta, you were saying 100 points. You were worried about 100 points. So explain to us why you were worried that one payment would drop your score 100 points.
The point dropping system is really different from everyone. I don't have what they call a thick credit profile. My credit profile to lenders are thin. So that means I am a high risk, which means they would have taken out the maximum amount of points on me, versus a person who already has 6, 7, 8 accounts. That one late payment, it is going to do some damage, but not as much as it would do me, because I'm already a risk factor. I'm already trying to build credit, and here we go, trust you, and you done messed up already. Oh no, we're going to get you where it hurts. And that's how the system is. So you want to have a thicker credit file is what they call it. I have a very thin credit file, and it goes back to what Shayna was saying. You can have a 700 credit score, and a person can have a 650 credit score, and they can get approved for $25,000, and you may get denied. That's how it works.
And another
everybody's file is different, but that person that has that 650 may have bukus of items, a lot of debt, and that's okay. They will approve that person. But the one who doesn't have a lot of debt, nope, denied. You look shady. We can't trust you.
Yeah. And another thing is, it seems that the higher your credit score, the more points you lose, because if you have a 800 or 750 credit score, you're in a bucket with people who don't typically have late payments. So then when you miss a payment, you're going to lose more points than a person who has a 500 credit score and misses a payment, because it's typical for people, well, the way they kind of analyze your behavior. It's typical for people in the 400 and 500s to maybe have late payments, but it's not for the people in the 800-700s. So you lose more points. The higher your score is, you lose more points for one late payment.
Yes, sir. So guys, listen, pay those bills on time. Set them to auto pay. Just honey,
try not to be in the position where you even have to write a CEO letter. But if you guys find this information valuable, please like and share our video. If you have friends who might need to know about late payments, like and share. Shayna, I saw your finger go up.
Yeah, I was thinking about, you said where we could find some of those, where they can find some of those CEO emails and things like that. If they don't know, is that you can try LinkedIn. Is that what you told me?
Oh, that's smart. No, I use Rocket Reach.
Rocket Reach. Oh, and then I thought that was you who told me that you can try LinkedIn and find the CEOs there, and it may have their email there as well.
That's smart. That might be a good free way to do it. But
Yeah.
what I do is I Google the CEO and then I use Rocket Reach. But Rocket Reach costs money.
Yeah. So maybe LinkedIn, you know.
I see Kenyatta smiling at me. I just gave another little piece of tea that I did not even plan on giving. Oh, it's so much trouble.
Rocket Reach. We giving away all the tea. But Rocket Reach or LinkedIn, a lot of CEOs, a lot of business professionals use LinkedIn. So you can try LinkedIn to try to find some of those CEO emails for the accounts that you want to send a goodwill email for.
That is so smart. So we are introducing like a new portion of like when we do these, we want to start like giving some news, current events about like what's going on in the credit repair industry and what's going on just with credit and credit scores and loans and mortgages and stuff. So I found an interesting article, ladies, and I wanted to know like what you guys take on this. And it's on Market Watch, and it was written by Jacob Paisley. If I said his name wrong, I'm so sorry, Jacob, but good article. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just to summarize the article, it is the title is Americans took on significantly less debt during COVID-19 pandemic, except in one major way. And I thought it was very interesting because it's basically talking about how even though a lot of Americans got stimulus checks and things like that, most people took those checks and paid off existing debt and saved money rather than applying for new credit, except for home ownership. There was an increase in people purchasing, like applying for mortgage loans. And so I'm just going to read a couple of things from the article, just a couple of things. In light of the economic turmoil, Americans by and large chose to steer clear of signing up for new loans. Based on survey data, the percentage of people applying for any form of credit from 45.6% in February 2020 to 34.6% in October 2020. The later figure represented a record low since New York Fed started tracking this data in 2013. But since October, credit demand has rebounded. February 2021, 44.8% applied for a new loan, included credit cards, auto loans, mortgages, and other forms of credit. So this is what I found extremely interesting. When it came to rejection rates, so, okay, the big outlier in these reported trends is dramatic increases in mortgages. So amongst all of this, we're in a pandemic. People are not applying for credit or any kind of loans, but everybody's still trying to buy a home. So that increase. However, when it came to rejection rates, that's meaning that people are applying for credit and mortgages and getting rejected. They're getting denied for these loans and credit. Mortgages were also an exception to the COVID era rule. The rejection rates for loans increased overall over the past year. Credit card applicants, for instance, have witnessed 170% increase in rejections.
Wow. You know what I think it is? With the rejections, people purchasing trade lines. I think that's what it is. And they look at the profile and they're like, you know, like it's a portion of it. Like this is not all your history. This isn't all your debt. This is all your utilization. You're piggybacking off of this. We're not going to approve you for that. Or like Kenyatta was just talking about, their profiles are small. You have a 2-year, your longest account was open 2 years. But everybody's trying to get a house because it's marketed so much on social media. Oh, get a house. You can get a house with a 580. You can get a house with a 420. Everybody get a house.
And people are taking shortcuts, purchasing the trade lines, and the bureaus and companies are getting smart about that because, like, just like everybody's in this pandemic together, they're going to be more careful about who they're lending money to too.
Right.
Because especially if the whole world is in a collective crisis,
right,
you're going to be a little bit more stringent on your qualifiers for who you're going to give money to because we're in a pandemic.
Exactly. I'm in a pandemic myself. Like, the bank trying to hold on to their money too. Like, hey. But
yeah, so I mean, I've been seeing a lot of people. I mean, credit is so important. Where typically you could get a credit card, a loan, a home loan with a 580, a 600, but now you need to be in the 700 ranges.
Changing the game now.
To even be in the game. Otherwise, you're just on the sidelines looking like, who shot John and why?
Yep.
And you guys want to talk about piggybacking and adding people on. I talked to my mortgage originator last week, and I was like, I want my husband's score to be higher. Should I add him as a AU, which is an authorized user, onto my credit card? And he was like, no, the bank's already hip to that. And I'm like, really? But that's my husband. I'm not charging him to be on the trade line. But he said, no. He said, it's not going to hold any weight. You might as well get him to get a secured card and let him build it for the 6 months. And that's from a person who does the loans all day long. So shout out to Jacques. That's my guy. And my realtor, Avril. I feel like they're family because they're on this journey with me. Y'all know credit is fickle. It goes up 1 month, it goes down. You losing points. You like, wait, how did I lose 10 points? How did I gain 5 points? It's really up and down with credit. So when you are at that status, you need to go ahead and jump. If you're not at that status, you need to get to that status, But this whole piggybacking, that's done. That's for the birds. They're hooked on this now. A few little people have messed it up. For us good people who was doing it right, who wasn't charging $1,000 a month for a trade line, right? We were just family, but they messed that up for us.
And I just had a client. I did a consultation with him, and I'm like, hey, you have this high utilization on this account. It's for $10,000. You're using the majority of, the account. You're not paying it back down. And he said, no, I purchased this trade line for $500. So they're
not even selling the trade lines right no more. They don't even get screwing people over.
Or you need to remove yourself as an authorized user from this account. And he was like, but I just got it. What? Why? So you guys have to be mindful. I know we're talking about late payments, but trade lines, do not let anybody sucker you into purchasing a trade line from them, because he's trapped right now. Now he's in it. He's giving this person $400. Then he had to turn around and give me the funds that I would need in order to start trying to assist him with repairing and rebuilding his credit. But I told him he's going to have to remove that. It's hurting you. It's not helping you.
Trade lines is always a hot topic because so many people just think it's a quick fix. And so that comes up a lot because people just think, oh, just buy a trade line. And for some reason, people think, oh, if I drop $2,000 on this, it must work. No. But it could be $2,000 on a trade line that don't do nothing for you.
That they're already running in the ground. So guys, before you purchase a trade line, get your own, build your own credit before you want to. You can do Credit My Rent. You can do secured cards.
Yes.
Don't do Experian Boost. Don't do Boost. Don't do those little small Boost ones that are on the apps. You don't want to do those. Those don't work too well. But you want
to. If it's free, it don't count.
Right.
But you want to do, they have different ones like Self and Kickoff and Secure Cards. There's other way that you could build your own personal profile. You don't have to jump on someone else's bandwagon. Start being responsible, build yourself up, and get those accounts for yourself and build your own credit. Don't get a CPN. Don't do that. That should be our next topic. I'm writing that down. But
And
yeah,
it takes a year. Just know that it's going to take you a good year at least to start seeing that progress when you're building your credit profile. We have some people watching. I just want to shout out and say hi. Your husband's watching, Kenyatta.
Hey, my king.
my dog.
Cordelia, hey, good evening. Thanks for joining. Yvette, good evening.
Oh, hi, sis.
Thanks for joining, Yvette. And thank you for everyone who's sharing and anybody who comes in after the live airing. Just go ahead and hit hashtag replay so we know you're watching, so we can still say hi. If you have any questions, we always monitor the chat and answer questions. And if anybody has any ideas of something they want to hear us talk about on our future episodes, please drop that in the comments as well.
Yes, and don't forget to follow our YouTube channel, The Credit Tea. Did I say it right, Jazz?
Yes.
Yeah, The Credit Tea. Follow our YouTube. Get us some subscribers. Hit the notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment there. We would really appreciate it because we're trying to take The Credit Tea to the next level and just educate everybody all over the world. Anybody who's willing to listen, we want them to get this information because nobody gave it to us. We had to get in the books. Okay? Figure that stuff out.
All right, ladies. I think we kind of covered everything. So, what do you think? We playing our intro on our way out again?
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Outro.
All right. We outroing. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
3 digits. Shift those 3 digits.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.